Well, a big seller this holiday season is Michael Bolton's Christmas album, This Is the Time. Happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap.
Norm, I think, has one of the best lines that probably I only appreciate on network TV history when he was hosting SNL, and he was talking about the new Michael Bolton Christmas album. Do you remember the line, Norm?
Happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap.
Kills me to this day.
It was funny because that joke was originally supposed to be about Mariah Carey, but she had some boyfriend that was some crazy, dangerous guy, and everybody was afraid.
And you figured in an alley you could take a Michael Bolton.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I think Bolton kind of made amends a little bit by appearing in that recent SNL skit.
Hysterical. He's
Oh,
hysterical.
that was hilarious.
Funny,
yeah, that was hilarious.
That was good.
And he has a great voice.
He does.
I didn't know.
And the song was kind of catchy. The SNL song was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. In stock market news this week, April's three biggest losers were Cantab Pharmaceuticals, Champion Enterprises, and Crapco, which manufactures crap. And also crap-related items, most recently Mariah Carey's Christmas album. Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Well, I don't know. Playing in a music store in New York this week, Kenny G set a world record by holding a saxophone note for 45 minutes. While he did warn spectators that it would be quite boring, it should be noted that it is every bit as boring to hear Kenny G play different saxophone notes for 45 minutes. This week, CBS aired the Martha Stewart Christmas special, in which she demonstrated that with an old soup can, some used tea bags, some string, and some sparkles, you can make a useless piece of crap. Martha Stewart is here, and she wanted me to tell you, don't let the busboys clear your table off tonight, because a little later Martha will come up here, and she's going to show us how to take those old discarded fish bones and make a beautiful birdhouse. So... That's nice. The New York Public Interest Research Group has unveiled its 10th annual list of dangerous toys for the upcoming Christmas season. Topping the list this year, baby's first circular saw. Well, the annual list of most dangerous holiday toys is out. Number 1 this year, Mattel's Eye Poker Outer. Well, the U.S. Safety Commission has issued a list of unsafe Christmas toys. Topping the list this year, Mattel's gasoline-powered sharp thing. And finally, the #1 selling doll this Christmas is Tickle Me Elmo. And the least popular selling doll, you guessed it, Tickle Me Frank Stallone. Jesus. Scientists have created a genetically superior Christmas tree that will be taller, stronger, and tougher than other trees. One downside, if you don't like your presents, it will kill you. It's a hell of a downside there. And finally, this Christmas, Santa Claus will be starting a new look at up-to-date shopping malls around the country. They will now feature black Santas, Asian Santas, Hispanic Santas, and even Middle Eastern Santas. It is all part of a program to make little children cry. And finally, next week, Christians everywhere will be celebrating Christmas, or, as people born on December the 25th call it, screwed out of a present day.
Where are you going here? You're going to Cobb's in San Francisco. What do you like to do during the days in San Fran to unwind? Do you go?
I just work on my ventriloquism.
Oh, how's that going, Norm?
It's going great, man. I thought Rusty and I would do a little holiday song for you.
Oh, you're kidding me. Let me kick back here and put my feet up in front of the fire, you and Rusty. Which puppet is Rusty? Refresh me.
Rusty's just my friend. You know, I'm having a lot of trouble with my cranky old man. I don't know if you remember old Alec Majerison, the virulent anti-Semite.
Yeah, sure, I remember. What, are you kidding me? I have a plaque commemorating my first meeting.
I'm trying to get rid of that guy because you know he's a Holocaust denier. That's no secret. He's an enthusiastic Holocaust denier, and I've had it up to here with this character. You know, the man, he's just a waste of wood. But I don't know what to do. One of my Jewish friends suggested that, why don't I just throw him in a fire and burn him? But I say 2 wrongs don't make a right. We're not here to talk about that. Let me get Rusty out here. Rusty, say hello to Dennis. Hey, Dennis, how are you?
Hey, Rusty.
What?
Hi, Rusty.
Hey, who's the dummy here, me or you?
It's me.
It sounds like it's you.
I'm sorry, Rusty. Let me give you my man voice. Hey, Rusty, how are you doing?
Yeah, dummy. Hey, come on now, Rusty. That's ridiculous. Calling Dennis Miller a dummy on his own radio program.
Now, can I jump in here for a second and tell you, here's how crazy Norm is. I'm sitting here believing that he actually has a puppet. Like, it's not enough for him to fake the puppet act on the radio and over the phone. You did pull out a puppet and have it on your arm right now, don't you?
Of course I have my pal Rusty here. Yeah.
What do you boys have planned for us today, Rusty, Norm?
We're going to do a song according to this dummy. Would you stop calling me that? You're the dummy. You're the dummy. Now listen. We're going to do a song, a beautiful song. Why? By the way, Rusty, what are you doing for Christmas? Are you going to see your family? Oh, sure. In my family tree, it's an actual tree. Okay, now that's just ridiculous.
You're actually overlapping dialogue here, Norm. You're not even putting a second between you and the puppet's voice.
Now, Rusty, are you ready to sing that song with me? Sure.
There you go.
Okay, I'll start. Here we go. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would say that he was a drunk. Hey, come on! Well, that's ridiculous.
What the?
Come on now, don't ruin this. This is a classic. I'm sorry. All right, now let's continue. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to town. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, have you been drinking some bathtub gin? What? Okay, now that's enough. That's way beyond the pale.
Stop it, Rusty. Stop.
I wish you'd kick the bucket. Like what? Kick the bucket. What are you talking about? You said pale. Bucket. It's a synonym. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, now that's ridiculous. You're the dummy. Okay. Stop. I'm sorry, Dennis. This is going nowhere. This is ridiculous. I apologize for Rusty. I can't go on with this. This is just an abuse to the whole idea.
All right. Now, what separates Rusty's old man voice from the old Holocaust denier's voice? Give me that voice.
You don't hear from him, do you?
Well, I know Rusty's just wetted the palate for a little more puppetry.
I swore I'd never use this guy.
It's like the Stones doing "Sympathy for the Devil" after Altamont.
There we go.
Thought I'd see you play that.
Alec, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. What do you think of this Christmas? What do I think of it? I'm not going to celebrate no holiday where a bunch of bearded New Yorkers killed our savior. Hey, come on now. You're going back in the case. I'm sorry, Dennis.
Oh, Norm,
Something like that
you
would happen.
you didn't quite have control of the posse today, but I realize it's the holidays are amongst us and that they're a little petulant this time of year.
I can never keep these guys under control.
Norm, you are an absolute wild man.
This is what you never hear. He made love to me in the ass.
That is true. You never hear that. God.
We're building to the end of the show. You got to top that one, though.
The point is that Andy Dick was actually kicked off a porno award show for being too offensive.
Well, they're giving away, awards for best anal.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So what could you have possibly done that was more offensive?
Wait. Are you saying anal is somehow offensive?
No, to some people, not to me.
I know, no kidding.
I think I was being drunk and disorderly.
I must see that video I was going to show you where the girl shoves her foot up that dude's asshole.
I can't get that vision out of my mind. I remember it, yeah.
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 What, do you got any symptoms? I know a lot of stuff.
Bleeding from my anus. Internally, I think. I mean, no, that's not a joke. That's true.
Well, I know it's not a joke.
I don't know. I've
been around jokes my whole life.
Right. Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to be funny. That's true.
Yeah. So you're.
I'm bleeding internally, I think.
So.
You know what I mean?
You're really bleeding from your anus?
Yeah, I really am.
Because you gave up that entire lifestyle that would make me think you were still bleeding from the anus, but you told me you'd given that all up.
You're talking about alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how you love to go to those bars and get real drunk.
Yeah.
And then the next day you'd wake up and you'd be bleeding from the anus. What's the color of the blood that's coming out of your
Well, the
anus?
good thing is it's not dark. It's
Oh,
not
that's
dark.
good.
It's brighter.
If it's bright red, it's coming from the rectal area.
Oh, okay.
It's not as dangerous.
Well, that's good. I haven't had a physical since I was 16. I'm terrified.
And you're 30 what?
34. It's been a while.
Yeah.
About 18 years. So hopefully, number 6 on the must list, maybe the money will start coming. I'll be able to see that doctor.
And let's not talk about your ass and shit all the time.
No, I don't want to talk about
It's unseemly. It's unsettling. It's both unsettling and unseemly. To me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do. I mean, you brought up health and you asked about my health. I was just trying to be honest, you know.
Yeah, but you're as fit as a fiddle.
Sure, let's go with that.
Well, you are. I think you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A new hangover-free vodka is on the market. Yeah, the ads claim that the 80-proof vodka is so pure, it's virtually headache-free. But before you run out and buy it, remember, it causes massive anal bleeding. Well, troubles continue for New York Senator Alphonse D'Amato. A week after offending many Japanese Americans with his impression of Judge Lance Ito, the senator entered a New York hospital complaining of mild chest pains this week. Attending physician, Dr. Hikuru Akosaki, examined the senator and found nothing serious, then performed a 6-hour rectal exam just to be sure. At the Davis County Jail in Utah, a judge has ordered that 17-year-old Wes Howard be placed in the general prison population after he complained of being unfairly segregated from the adult inmates. The judge came to this decision over the strenuous objection of Wes Howard's ass. Well, according to a new Entertainment Weekly poll, 72% of their readers say they would not be offended if a TV show lead character were gay. Though that figure shrinks to 1% when these same readers are reminded that being gay can involve anal sex. You know, it's always like, hey, my dad, anally raped me or something, you know? I mean, who of us haven't been anally raped by their fathers? I mean, really.
always searching for what's missing, but the answer.
You know, I don't see you that much because I heard you're afraid. You don't like flying. You really don't like flying.
No, I don't care for flying.
And you don't like one of the things, and I don't know if it's true, but you don't like it because they search you at the airports now.
Yeah, well, I went to Canada, you know, my home land, and I decided to go there, and they wanted to search me, you know.
Right.
And I said, because I know a lot of this involves, you know, when they search you, they always want to search your ass. So I said...
Well, not always.
Well,
they don't always want to go down there.
That's what this character wanted.
Yeah.
He thought there was something suspicious looking about my ass. So he's like, I go, well, when we go in the back place, are you going to take me in the black place? Are you any chance you're going to search my ass? And because I don't even want to know what's in my ass.
Yeah.
So he said, well, yes, sir, that's what we will be doing. So I said, you know what? I don't care for Canada that much.
It's not worth that.
Yeah, I just went home. Canada's a nice place and everything like that, but...
Well, also, the way you say it, and I'm just going to point this out, when you go up to someone, any chance you're going to search my ass, it almost sounds like you want them to. That sounds bad. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's true.
It sounds a little... the way you say it, it's like, hey, any chance you're going to check the old ass? That sounds like you're wanting them to do it, which might cause problems.
Well, you know, John Glenn actually got searched. I read in the newspaper. You know,
the astronaut.
The astronaut. He wanted to get on a plane,
right.
And they decided to search him because of this incredible danger he poses to. They walked on the damn moon. You think he'd get a free pass for that? But no, they're fiddling around in John Glenn's ass.
I can't believe that.
It's ridiculous.
When I was a kid, I'd do impressions because Rich Little did impressions. And I would do impressions of him doing impressions. I wouldn't know who the guy was. It'd be like Jimmy Cagney or something. I'd never heard of him, but me and my buddies would, do Jimmy Cagney.
An American, you say? Well, I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yankee Doodle, do or die. You can't get any more American than that.
So, but no, sometimes people do yell that stuff out, though. They'll go like Bob Dole, like I'm going to do some guy that's, hasn't been around in 8 years. So,
well, no, it's good to know that it was the brilliance of Rich Little that led to dirty work in the end. I'm glad that I can draw the line from point A to point B.
Well, Rich Little has this really funny thing. If you want to see something funny, I mean funny in a bad way, it's he did A Christmas Carol, Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And he plays every character in it.
Rich Little's A Christmas Carol, starring Rich Little as W.C. Fields, Paul Lynde, Richard Nixon, Edith Bunker, John Wayne, and many, many more. And I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but it was so funny. So he's like, and it's just anyone he could do, So they're not even guys from the right time frame that lived at the same time. So it'll be like Tiny Tim is Paul Lynde, and Marley is Nixon and stuff, So it's like he's like it's like a horrible Nixon impression he does, and
they'll never let me forget about those 18 and a half. And the third, when the last stroke has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more.
And so, it's like, Tiny Tim, go and get me a goose. And it's like, okay, I will, Forget it.
I think
you guys have the capacity with your computers to find that kind of stuff.
I think it's on Twitter.
Yeah, you should try to Twitter that.
I think that's something. I think you could do that. I mean, that would be. I think you should remake the Rich Little Christmas Carol.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
It'll go viral. Like you could do it but just all Burt Reynolds and David Letterman as Scrooge.
finally, back again, Burt Reynolds in a commanding lead with $14.
Hey, check out the podium. Look at this.
Mr. Reynolds has apparently changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Great.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Let me just get rid of this doll of steak. So, Paul is working out today. You know what health club I work out there, don't you, Paul?
No, which one?
Work out at Crunch.
Are those your jokes that you wrote today?
Yep.
Okay.
Been cracking them out.
Okay. I am going to prove something right now. Read the jokes to me.
I'm on a seafood diet. I see food, and if it's a fish, I eat it.
Meta.
Yeah. So.
I hate meta.
Some people keep trying to get me to do meta comedy, so there you go.
I heard a joke.
Yeah, there you go, Norm. You got it.
That was a take by the night monkey.
All right, hold on a second. Go ahead, Norm.
No, I'm terrible at telling jokes, but a guy, he gets a genie or something that gives you wishes in a lamp, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's like, oh, no, that's not it. He goes to his whole head is a giant pumpkin. That's how the joke starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a giant pumpkin, and then his friend goes, what happened? He's like, I found this genie in a lamp, and he gave me 3 wishes. And he's like, what happened? He goes, well, the first wish I wished for like $100 million, and I got it. And then for my second wish, I wished for like a beautiful lady, and I got her. And the guy's like, yeah, but what happened? He's like, the third wish, that's where I really blew it. And the guy goes, what happened? He goes, I wish for a giant pumpkin head.
You guys got it. Really, put a CD out together.
You know what I really hate? You know what I really hate? If you go anywhere with him, like for a couple of days, he does that on purpose. He'll tell jokes with no ending on purpose.
I don't think you need one. Sometimes you can tell a joke like that.
And then that happens.
You don't need to have a joke.
You want to read a joke?
Sure.
You read them so good, but do you like his meta jokes?
He's a deep guy, you know. He's a young guy that's still finding themselves, so he's meta.
How many Polish guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? The question cannot be answered because Polish people are so fucking stupid that no matter how many of them are available, none of them would ever be able to complete that simple task.
This is a meta joke. Have you aware of these meta jokes?
How many comedians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
2. One to do it, and the other guy to go, how long's he been up there?
I like that.
On stage.
Yeah, because they was going,
how long?
This is the post-punk comedy. Now, this might be too...
He's not one of those sabotaging guys that's afraid of success.
No. No, this is a new type of comedy that may be a little advanced for the likes of you and me. To tell you the truth.
Try to take
I think that's what it is.
He had to do what's called anti-comedy?
Anti-comedy or meta-comedy.
Yeah.
Anti meaning the opposite.
Before we begin, I have a quick public service announcement. Would anybody, please fuck Martha Stewart?
Oh, I got that one.
What?
I don't understand that.
What?
That's weird, right?
Too soon.
It's meta.
Meta.
Do you like the meta comedy?
Meta world peace comedy.
Yeah.
Only comedy I like.
Your mom is so fat she developed type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. Snap! I don't get that. That's so fat she did something.
Well, it's kind of an anti-joke.
It's a literal, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know these new meta jokes?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, she's so fat, you expect a joke, but then she's just so fat.
I get it.
If thinking that women are not funny, emotionally irrational, and less intelligent than men makes me sexist, then yes, I am sexist. Another meta joke.
Is it?
Sort of.
Boy, was it hot outside today. I went out to buy a California Pizza Kitchen signature pepperoni frozen flatbread, and by the time I got home, it was perfectly cooked and entirely eaten. 100% true.
Oh, you ate it. See, I love
Wait,
how you laugh. I love how you laugh. It's just kind of weird, right? Some of them are odd. I'm not going to lie to you.
This is a joke.
Well, some of them.
But this is a joke.
I think technically.
Like an observational joke?
always thinking that the new comedians, like Jim Gaffigan, what is it called when you say a joke and then refer to it?
Oh,
Some sort of
I don't know what
meta.
it's called, but yeah, everybody's just.
What are they doing?
That.
Kind of explain what they do.
Well, what they do is they're basically saying what Jim does is he's telling you what the audience's reaction
So give
to
an
that
example.
joke is. So it's like you know.
The joke, it's not the joke part isn't important. You can talk about the Care Bears, but you just say the.
Okay, so he's like, you know, I like Samuel. Something the punchline. Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, I don't care for him. He's not a good actor. Something like that.
Sometimes beauty's distracting too. Like Halle Berry, she is so beautiful. But whenever she's in a movie, I find it hard to follow the plot. Like when she was in Monsters Ball playing that poverty-stricken woman, the entire time I was watching the movie, I was like, well, why doesn't she just become a model?
But isn't that he said he was commenting on his own act, not on Samuel L.
Yeah, that's
Jackson?
what he's. Oh, yeah, but he's talking about the. Why does this? All right, so he'll be talking about like cheeseburgers. I love about mini muffins is you can eat fucking 12 of them. Oh, he just keeps talking about food. Why is he talking about food so much? He does that.
And now this has become a kind of a standard since.
Since he did it, it's like everybody.
Try and be a good dad. I sat the older three down and I explained to them that the new baby does not mean I love them any less, but I will have to let one of them go. So if anyone knows of a toddler rescue, maybe we could get Sarah McLachlan to do the commercial. I don't like that joke at all. Why would he put that joke in this special? 4 kids. Bedtime is a crisis. That's why I'm here right now.
I saw Gilbert do that 20 years ago, where he was his own father watching his act.
Yeah.
How did that put on a pair of glasses.
What kind of a joke was that? He didn't answer it. I don't understand that he does the fingers fighting with each other, and that's a joke.
I've been doing that for years, way before they had a name for it.
I had no idea.
He would say a joke, and then he'd put on his glasses, he'd be his father, and not care for the joke. Right?
That's brilliant.
What do you have to say now?
I mean, I'm not a good,
anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like.
Gilbert is not looking at your slow burn that you've been trying to perfect.
It's not, I mean.
Norm MacDonald Live premiered over 2 years ago. One thing has remained consistent throughout. Jokes. So we're going to do some jokes with, this is a rather troublesome thing I've got to address. This was in Adam Eagle's dressing room. If you can read it, it says, ISIS hunting permit.
It's not mine. I don't know. It's not mine.
Whether or not it's yours, you were defending it earlier when we talked about it just now. I said, what does this mean even? ISIS hunting permit. Everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then you said, no, I wouldn't want to kill ISIS.
I don't, no, I think you're.
What did you say just now?
No, I'm saying that, first of all, it doesn't make sense.
But when I said ISIS hunting permit, I said, wait, does that mean ISIS hunting permit, does that mean that this is supposed to be taken as some sort of redneck thing?
Yeah, it seems like it would be on like
Why
a
would
redneck.
this be a redneck thing?
Well, it just seems typical of something you'd see on the back of a pickup
right,
truck.
but I said after that, I said, but no, everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then what did you say?
I think that it's just, the thing is that somebody would use that as permission to kill Muslims, just because they couldn't differentiate between who is ISIS and
Why
who
would
is,
they not say Muslim hunting permit?
well, because they sort of look at all Muslims as being ISIS, you know? That's the problem when people want to deport all the Muslims from America. They think that they're all part of ISIS, when in truth they're not. They're not at all.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, it's like saying somebody like Timothy McVeigh is all Christians.
Yeah, I've read some figures about 80% of a lot of these nations don't agree with it. They're against ISIS.
Well spoken.
The point, I don't know where you found it. It's not from my dressing room. I don't have a dressing room.
Well, who
It's not
cares
from
about
my
a dressing
car.
room? We're talking about it. Did you hear what?
Yes, I agree with everything Margaret just said. 1,000%.
Yes. I mean, I don't disagree. I think ISIS is terrible.
Absolutely.
And everybody here listed, Boko Haram in particular, I have a lot of rage towards. However, somebody would take this in the wrong way. I mean, somebody would look at this and think of it as permission to kill all Muslims, which is sort of a sentiment that's going around in conservative circles, which is not the right way to look at Muslim America.
Yeah. It's like after 9/11, people were shooting Sikhs, people from India who had nothing to
do.
Yeah.
And it's just this unawareness of
it's ignorance.
People who are different from them. Not even different in
Well,
America.
I can't say my friend's name, but he said his biggest fear is that ISIS or some terrorist group like that will get a hold of a dirty bomb and explode it over a major city within the United States and kill tens of millions of people. Because then the blowback against innocent Muslims would be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that's horrific.
That's true.
All right, let's do some jokes.
That went well.
These broken pieces I hold in my hands don't have a chance to mend at all. Before they get thrown into chaos again, I try to pretend I'm whole enough to stand in this world so unsteady.
Josh.
Now, this is a great joke. This is, I think, just a classic joke. This may have been written by, who's this new boy that I've taken quite an unhealthy interest with?
Black.
Huh?
Scott Black.
Scott Black. Black.
There was only one man in town who could make people afraid of him even from beyond the grave. And that man was Richard Chubby. Because with Big Chubby gone, there was only one person to take over the family business. His son, Little Chubby.
Back again, Burt Reynolds in a commanding lead with $14.
Hey, check out the podium. Look at this.
Mr. Reynolds has apparently changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Norm and I were hanging out in his office one day playing a game where you had words and you had to do an impression of somebody saying the same sentence. And he did Burt Reynolds doing it. And we go, oh, well, there we go. So how can we get Burt Reynolds on TV?
And then one time I was talking to Burt Reynolds and he said he wanted to come on the show while I was doing Celebrity Jeopardy and then punch me in the face and take over. And then he'd be even stupider. But then I got fired, so he couldn't do it.
The sketch that you got on the air, and you say in your book, hey, you know, I didn't originate this sketch. I kind of stole this sketch with permission. But the famous Jeopardy bit.
Yes, Jeopardy sketch.
Where you play Burt Reynolds,
yes.
and you say Will Ferrell was key to that sketch because he played such a great Jeopardy host.
Yes.
But that thing was one of the most popular sketches, and you pitched that, but you admit in your memoir that, hey, that's something I got from SCTV.
Yeah.
And I waited till Martin Short was a guest on the show, and I pitched it and said, can we do the Jeopardy thing?
Yeah. They did a sketch on SCTV when I was a child called Halfwits, and it was, Alex Trebek was in the sketch because he was a Canadian. And it was, it was just these kids. It was, when two schools would fight each other.
Yeah.
And so it was real stupid. So I always loved that show, and I said, Celebrity Jeopardy, they always ask such easy questions, and the celebrities are all so stupid. It would be great to do it. Unfortunately, they've already done it, and I feel like I shouldn't just steal a sketch.
Right.
So when Mr. Short came to do the show, who later became my friend, I said, who wrote that sketch? And he said, Eugene Levy. And I said, maybe we could phone him, and
get permission.
Get permission. And so he said, yeah, we'll do a conference call. And I said, no, I'll phone,
I'm a man, you know.
Yeah.
So I phoned Eugene Levy, and I asked him. I told him the whole sketch. I said how much I loved the first one, and I asked permission, and he was kind enough to give it to me.
There was no better show than that SCTV. That was unbelievable,
oh my God,
right?
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Why does Turd Ferguson? Why does Burt Reynolds hate Alex Trebek?
You know what's funny is I wrote that sketch because on Saturday Night Live you have to do impressions once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do impressions, you know. But I do like 4 or 5 guys from when I was a kid that I liked, you know. Like Letterman I liked, so I could do an impression of him. And when I was a little kid, Burt Reynolds used to be on The Tonight Show, and he was like the funniest guy ever. So I wanted to do Burt Reynolds, but I couldn't figure out how to put him in anything.
Right.
And so I wrote the sketch Celebrity Jeopardy so I could do my Burt Reynolds. And then when it comes time to tape it, like Lauren told Costume to have a white hair for me and a white beard. And I'm like, no, Lauren, I don't do Burt Reynolds. I do Burt Reynolds from the 1970s, from Smoking the Bandit.
Because that didn't make sense either. Nobody knew why. Why was it 70s?
I know, it made no sense. But it's funny, like you say, Turd Ferguson, because on one of them I go, Burt Reynolds goes, you know, that's not my name, you know, to Alex Trebek, you know, and he forces himself to be called Turd Ferguson. He forces Alex Trebek to call him Turd Ferguson.
Right.
So anyway, somehow that caught on with some people. So still to this day, like sometimes I'll be walking down the street and a guy will go, "Hey, turd!" And then I go, "Thank you," and then everyone else goes, "What?
What is going on?
What kind of universe is this?" Hey, you worked with Burt Reynolds.
Yes, I did work
on
with
the
Burt Reynolds.
TV show. Right?
Yeah, on Evening Shade. Yeah.
Do you have any crazy Burt Reynolds stories?
He did hit me one time live in front of an audience, and I couldn't breathe and I couldn't say my lines.
Slap?
He hit me with an open hand, but in the lung, and he's got arms like Popeye, you know, those big forearms. And in the thing, I'm supposed to hit him. I'm supposed to slap him on the back and say something which pisses him off or whatever. And I come out there before the live audience, and when we rehearsed it, he said, "I'm an old stunt man, so hit me as hard as you can." And I guess I hit him really hard because his natural reaction, I guess, was to hit me in the lung, and I couldn't talk, and they had to sort of suspend the big show for a few minutes while I got my breath back.
I wanted Burt Reynolds on the show, and he was like, "Oh, you don't want him. He's crazy." And I'm like, "No, I don't want you. I want him." Like, I kind of wanted a crazy guy. Which is what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about.
Oh, yeah. Burt
was
Reynolds,
this notion of
he is
crazy. Yeah.
Burt Reynolds.
But he's
I remember
funny.
one time he caught his hair on fire when he was over.
On the lot.
Yeah, he was he came over and he had caught his hair on fire. I don't know how. We're like, "Oh, you better go to the doctor. You've got a big friggin' hole in your scalp."
Because Roseanne's show was on the Radford,
right
along
behind.
with Seinfeld and Evening Shade. And I remember hearing a story, all his stories about Burt. And he would go on his hiatus, he'd go away and hire people for the show. And then people would show up, quit their job, you know, in whatever bar he just found them in.
That's great.
And they'd come and go, "We're ready to work." And he'd go, "What?" And they'd just pay him off. And the guy'd have to go home. But can you imagine that? Like you're in your little town and Burt Reynolds shows up at your candy store and offers you a job.
That's kind of, what was he thinking?
I don't know. But I think he had some, you were talking about you had OCD. He must have had some crazy stuff. I met Burt Reynolds, though, which was an amazing...
Was he pissed? Because he doesn't have a big sense of humor, does he?
You know what Burt Reynolds loves to do is slap you in the face really hard.
Yeah, he's like one of those masculine guys. He's punching you, you know.
But no, he was real nice to me. And
did he slap you?
He told me really funny stories. He told me he was in Deliverance, you know, which I loved. You know, he said, I used to do my own gags. Gags, I guess, are like stunts. He was a stunt man.
Yeah.
And so he said, they had this gag and where I went over waterfall.
And what, a car or something?
No, he just fell. You know, this wasn't.
He just falls off a waterfall.
Bandit. This was like Deliverance. They were in the middle of.
Right.
So he says, "I'll do the fall. We don't need a
We don't need a stuntman. Frankenheimer says, no, we need a stuntman. He goes, nah, we don't want that. He goes, okay, well, we'll just use a dummy. We'll just throw a dummy over, you know?
Yeah.
And he goes, no. So Frankenheimer's idea was just to throw a dummy over, and Burt Reynolds said, no, absolutely, I'm going to do it myself. So Burt Reynolds says he does it, and he said he did, you know, he said some term I'm not familiar with, you know, I do a half bike or something like that. He said his shoulder immediately hit a rock, then his head hit another rock.
Oh, God.
And then he said, the next thing you remember, he's way downstream, all his clothes had been torn off him. And he looked up and he was just like in shock, right? The next thing he remembers, he's waking up in a hospital. Yeah. John Frankenheimer is at his bedside. And he goes, then I said to John, how'd it look, you know, on the daily? And John Frankenheimer said it looked like a dummy falling off a clock. So that made me laugh.
So he does have a good sense of humor.
He has a very good sense of humor.
And did Burt smack you around a couple of times just to show you where it was at?
So what was the first sketch that you ever got on, or what was the first written material that you ever got on the show?
I wrote a sketch for the first show because Burt Reynolds had just was on Larry King Live and was kind of famous at the time that because he was in a contentious divorce with Lonnie Anderson, and he was wearing this crazy purple suit on Larry King Live, and he announced, I will, you know, Lonnie Anderson is lying, and I will get her on this show with you, Larry, and we'll both take truth serum. And I was like, truth serum? What? Is that even a real thing? So it was so funny. And then so I wrote a sketch where they both drank like from beakers of truth serum, you know. And Lauren did not care for it. It opened the show, you know. It was like a big hit at the table. What's his name did Burt Reynolds? Phil Hartman. Oh, wow. It was Phil Hartman and Jan Hooks. And it just... the next week, Lauren like pointed to it as the example of what we should not be doing on the show. He said it was just the, you know, he calls things Carol Burnettish, you know, which is the ultimate insult. He said it was just the most Carol Burnettish type of sketch. But I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know. And he let me do it. It got all the way to the air. He chose it, and he put it on first. Not my fault.
I love the Burt Reynolds impression you do. So a bit about A, like the genesis of it. B, has Burt, have you met Burt? Has he commented? And just while I have this, over the 41 years of SNL, I'm wondering, besides Farley, going back to day one, who are the players that really you most admire and maybe shaped anything?
Well, when I was a kid, I liked, my favorite was Dan Aykroyd, about 9 Miles. And I always wondered why Chevy was the star, because I thought, God damn, Dan Aykroyd can do anybody, and he's so funny and stuff. And the reason I want to do Burt Reynolds, because I loved him when I was a kid. I don't really do impressions, but guys who I really like, I can do. And guys that are funny, it's kind of a cheat, but you know, you do an impression of them, and then you're funny because they're funny. Do you know what I mean? So I always used to watch him on the Tonight Show, and I said, I gotta get him a sketch. So then I stole this sketch called Halfwits from Second City, and I turned that into Celebrity Jeopardy. And I felt really bad for stealing the sketch. And so I waited until Martin Short was coming on. And I said, Martin, can I do this sketch? You know, I stole it from Halfwits. And then he said, oh, I didn't write it. Eugene Levy wrote it. So then I had to phone Eugene Levy and ask him. And he was a gentleman about it and said that I could do it. But then when I did it, you know, Lauren picks out the wardrobe. He had like this gray hair and gray beard and stuff. And I was like, no, I want to play it like from the 70s. It's kind of odd, but all the time I did it, nobody ever commented. But the 3 celebrities, one of them was from 50 years ago. Oh, Burt, yeah, no, I met him, and God damn, that guy was funny. He just told me the funniest stories. And yeah, he wanted to, he said he wanted to, this is a story he told me. He said, you know, he get all these girls when he was young, you know, he was so handsome. He said one time he was in a hotel, and there's this beautiful blonde, and she said, like, just come up to my room, you know, have a lot of sex. So he goes up to her room, and they're kissing on the bed and stuff. And then he said she whispered in his ear, and she said, I'll be right back. I have to take a dump. So he ran away. Most of us would run away, but he could just get the next girl in minutes. I went once to a commercial.
You've been a commercial audition. It's not fake.
Oh, right.
anger.
That's
it. That's right.
I went once to a commercial, and it was the script said, hey, Phil, I see I got a Buick. So that was the line, you know. So all night I'm up, like, fucking nervous, and I'm reading in the mirror. Like, I'm like, hi, Phil. I'm trying to, like, fucking say some words louder than other words in the script. I'm like, hey, Phil, I say you got a Buick, you know. So then I go there. First of all, my manager used to lie. He'd go like, these guys are big fans of your comedy. They want to meet you.
Right.
They're big fans. And then I'd show up. There's 4,000 people there. I'm like, they're a huge fan. Where am I? He just lied to me, thinking I wouldn't make it worse when I showed up and they weren't big fans. But anyways, I went in, and the guy, so I said, hey, he's got one camera on me. I go, hey, Phil, I see you got that Buick. And then the guy goes, great. Like, it's great. Like, how could that be great? So I go, oh, thanks, man. He goes, but this time, he goes, do it again and just go off the script. He goes, forget the script. Like, there's a script. There's fucking 4 words. I go, okay, I'll ignore the script. He goes, yeah, just go crazy and whatever you want to do, and you're just alone.
How crazy can you go?
Yeah. So I said, but I just agreed because I was paralyzed. I'm like, yes, okay, because they think you're Mork from Ork, just because you're a comedian.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So then I freaked out. I panicked, and I just said the same words, like real nervous, just to get out. I said, "Hey, I see I got a new Buick, Frank." And then the guy's like, "Huh? Oh, I guess it was good. Bye." And then my buddy, he was a commie too, and I said, "What'd you do?" And he goes, "I fucked the floor." I go, "Well, you probably did the right thing." Because that's what they were looking for, you know, something like that. What are you yelling my name for?
Norman!
Shut the fuck up. Now we gotta do some thing here. Okay. No, that's very nice of you yelling my name.
No problem, Norm.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here, you know, and I was asked to host the ESPYs this year. Yeah, hi, that's my name, Espen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're very kind. You know, in the, what's that? Oh, yeah, no. No, you're absolutely right. That is my name. What's that? Guy yells my name for no reason.
You're not very funny.
Pardon? No, I didn't hear what he said. Don't move. What is going on? No, I didn't hear what he said. I'm sorry. What did you say, sir?
You're not very funny.
Who? So what do I give a fuck? No, you're... Now you're saying I'm not very funny, right?
You got my money. That's okay.
How much money?
No.
How much money I got that's yours? No, honestly, I don't care how much. Are you alone or you just by yourself?
He's not alone, unfortunately.
No, but so what was the idea? So here's the thing. So you go, I'm gonna pay money. Go see this dude, right? I think it's probably costs a lot of money, right? So, no, that would be an awful thing. That would be an awful thing. That would be a terrible thing to do. No, I just wanted to understand what exactly happened. So, but anyways, at some point in your life, you thought I was funny. I see it, because I don't got no fucking banjo or shit. So at some point in your life, you thought I was funny, right?
Weekend update, baby.
Weekend update. That's nice, thank you. So then, have you ever seen me do anything since Weekend Update? Pardon me?
YouTube morbid ones.
I'm sorry, what?
YouTube morbid bits.
I did what?
There's a lot of YouTube morbid bits.
YouTube morbid bits? Oh, morbid. I see. And so then, did you like those? No. You didn't like those? Because I did one album that was specifically about death. Is that what you mean? Yes. So they were clips, but you didn't like those. So then you said, I'll come here to this show.
You said that you were better. You weren't doing the morbid stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm not doing the morbid stuff anymore. Did I do anything more? First of all, I never said I was better. I've never used it. But have I done anything morbid, do you think?
No, Norm, I love you, baby. That's why I'm here. So shut up.
Why you tell him shut up? He should say he loved me. Well, that's nice. Thanks, man. That's cool that you love me. Because it's cool to love someone even if you don't think they're fine. You know, you should love someone even if they disappoint you. No, I'm not going to check them out. Why would I do that? Yeah. So you know, it's nice of you to love me, even though I've disappointed you. Yeah, I'm sorry I disappointed you. Because seriously, I never tried. You know. I'll try to do that. But that was nice that you said that you loved me on the Weekend Update. And it was so sweet that you said you loved me. So, I love you too, bro. Oh, man, alive. We got through that all right. You gotta let people have their opinion and stuff like that. You know? Man paid a lot of money, and then he's like, what the fuck is all this shit? Morbid shit. I didn't really feel that morbid.
Love you, Norm.
But let's go morbid then. If I could tell you one thing about the real heroes of the country, which I believe are the teachers, you know. I don't believe they're the real heroes. I just spoke again. I think the real heroes are the real heroes. Teachers, they get good press though, because people often say to me, you know who the real heroes are? I go, are they the real heroes? They go, no. I go, oh, they're the teachers. It's counterintuitive that it doesn't seem like a heroic job, but yes. First of all, if you're a teacher, you get the same fucking vacations as a child. You get, 4 months a year off. My vacation, I get almost no time off. Over 48 weeks a year. 4 weeks a year I get off. What about you? You're not one of those fucking teachers, right? You seem like a teacher. Now, are you a teacher? What do you teach? What grade? High school. What grade? What grade? No, but what grade? Not so easy when it's the other way around. It's always easy to ask the questions. The real heroes are the fucking students. I actually have to answer the question. Now, what grade do you teach? 9 through 12. So you need a grade 13 education. You're the real hero. No, you're the real hero. No, I'm just kidding. You're the real hero. Her husband's like, you're not the real hero. Shut the fuck up. I know, it's a fun thing to say. But what do you do? What do you do for a living that your wife's the real hero? Well, you know you're not the actual real hero, don't you? You look obsessed. Did you say how upset she is? So you actually feel you're the real hero? See, I think you've disqualified yourself a little. Because I believe real heroes don't think they are. Because when you hear the real heroes, they go, how the fuck did you run into that fucking fire and pull a guy up? You're a hero. And they go, no, it's the teachers. Not me. I'm a little scared now. I gotta go lie down. Gotta pull the guy out of a fire. That's a good job. Come on. Everybody's shorter than you? Are you gonna work with? They have to do whatever the fuck you said? No, I'm sorry. What did you say? What? Oh. That's an odd word for a school teacher to use. People that were teaching our young children were bandying around words like retard. I'm just kidding. No, they do a lot of good. You know what I read, actually, though? A serious statistic. They actually fuck more students than... Talk to a hero. No, they actually fuck more students, if you can believe this, than priests. You know how priests... Nobody likes priests. Nobody's going around with priests are the real hero. And yet, actual priests, who I know, I'm not a Catholic, but I know pastors, you know, and my God, they most of them that I know do the Lord's work, you know. I mean, they go out and they're in hospitals and stuff, and they're doing stuff, and for no money, you know, and no recognition, and it's got to kill them, like going, yeah, people think, fuck kids. Like, if I was a priest, man, I just let it be known. Like, I do a TV commercial. I go, hey, listen, I'm Father Norm here. Come on down to my church. I won't fuck your kid. I'll tell you that. That's the first thing I promise you. I'll tell you a little something about myself. I'm Father Norm, as I told you, and 20 years or so ago, I took a vow of chastity. Now, what that means is I cannot have sex with a lady, you know? Now, that's tough, because I like ladies, and especially the ones, you ever see those ones where they press their tits together, kind of, they got a little cleavage showing, but they look kind of hoary, but it looks like they don't know they're whores. Anyway, that's my type. Everybody has their own type. The point is, I don't even fuck them, let alone a child, for God's sake. Why would I want to fuck a child? So anyways, go down to Father Norm's. I will not fuck your kid. And you can leave your big-titted whore wife at home. I don't need that hanging around asking me questions all the time. It's junkie. You gotta admit, though, the guy that put that flag in the Iwo Jima, he's close. That went to the moon. He didn't know that when he got there, the fucking spacecraft would crash, or there'd be moon aliens or shit like that. I mean, I know he's not. I know it's not grade 11 biology, but I mean, it's something. It's Imagine any fucking other fucking job, you know, you go, hey, I'm the civil servant, I'm a hero, you know, you're fucking retarded, but a teacher, memorize this shit. Back tomorrow, then you gotta tell it to me. Remember everything I say and then repeat it to me. I got some problems for you. I know you're a child, and that you don't have any problems. That's the cool thing about being a child, but guess what? You fucking got some now. On account of I've got some heroic work to do for you. Sure, you're a nice lady. Very, very heroic. But, listen, guys. It's science do you teach Newton? Isaac Newton? You know, what are you, retard? Isaac Newton. There's kind of a... The hero that called me a retard is actually a retard herself. He's turned on its elbow. I'm sorry, what? A treadmill? Have I seen one? Wait, I don't even get it. It's not good when people are groaning and I don't understand it. No, have I ever seen a treadmill? Yes, of course. You mean the things you walk on? Yeah, I've seen it millions of times. What? Maybe I am a retard. Yeah, you walk on them. They're in gyms and they don't. No, that's not a treadmill? You remind me of these fucking teachers I used to have. I said yes, I go, no. I'm pretty sure I have seen a treadmill, no matter what you say. It's a thing you walk on and then, right? You're not, what? You wouldn't be sure that I'd seen a treadmill? Well, you see, you're probably very bad at grading people. At some point, when you ask a student a question, and they give you an answer, you have to take them on faith. Well, there'd be no motive for me to lie about that answer. I've seen dozens, hundreds of them. I don't want to brag, but you know, I've been around. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen treadmills you wouldn't understand. Baby, I don't think I'll ever see you. Maybe I had a bad time in here. Tilsonburg? God damn, my back still aches when I hear that word. But, anyways, I'm in America and, Hamilton, maybe we can figure out one by the end of the show. We got the smokestacks and the tie cats and good old Hamilton. The tie cats. Tie cats. Hey, there's Howie Meeker doing the play-by-play. He was before old Don Cherry and like that. But Howie Meeker, of course, would not do tie cats telecasts because that's not hockey. But listen, let's go to the prepared text. There's no prepared text. But what I have, I've written some words down on this piece of paper because Steve brings a goddamn fucking computer out. And then he got me nervous. I'm like, what if I forget everything? I don't know, computers, listen, nothing smarter than a computer. You see where they played Jeopardy against a computer? Did you see that fucking thing? And then, so it's a computer, right? His name is Watson. He goes by the name of Watson. Anyways, so he plays two human beings, and then everybody's fucking surprised when the computer wins. I thought it was going to be that guy who worked at the hat factory. That guy seemed pretty smart. Even their anecdotes, you know, Alex Trebek's like, well, Watson, you have a funny story for us? And he's like, yeah, one time Oscar Wilde went up to George Bernard Shaw Then the next guy's like, ah, fuck, this sounds like another good one. I was going to tell my one about that fellow that took the wrong hat that day. You can't be no fucking computer. What do you? They know everything in the world. Dirty stuff on the computer, like computer pornography. I would advise you not to, on account of I don't know. I think it changes you. Fundamentally changes you. Because you're just a regular fella, and then you're fucking looking at this stuff, and then first, because I only got turned into it about a couple of years ago. I was late to the game, but I couldn't fucking believe what I was seeing. First of all, there's thousands upon thousands, and you never see the same girl twice. That's the weird thing. You go, good Lord, is every girl a whore? I've never met a lady like this in my life. Where do they live? I don't fucking... And they're just with some fat guy with a big belly. I don't know. Anyways. And then you get desensitized to it too, you know? That's what happens after a while, because at first you can't stay, you're whacking off 6 times a day. And after a while you get, like they say in the big books, desensitized. I don't know if you've ever read those big books. That's a word they enjoy putting in there. And what that means is you're watching it and you're like, ah, man, she's only taking 6 cocks up her ass. Why should get into business if she's going to be such a prude? I'll find something else. I'll find a worse thing a human can do to another human. I need to, you know. You don't want to reach that stage. Then you got to pull away and try to be a civilized human again. Man, enough filth. What I was going to say about America is that when you go there from Canada to live, you realize things are important. Like everybody got a fucking opinion about it. You guys like fucking whatever, but everybody got an opinion, you know. And in Canada, I grew up, and I didn't really have like opinions and stuff like that, you know. And I think it's because it's my Canadian nature not to like, because things are very important in the United States, like elections and stuff like that. You vote for the wrong guy, he could blow up the fucking world. So that's because they got a red phone. We don't get no red phone. They're not going to give Canada a fucking red phone. But, so there is a very important decision who you vote for. And here, when you vote, you know, it's always like, who are you going for? I don't know. I think I like that guy that wants to build that bridge. I'd like to see a bridge over the... So it's not going to be that consequential one way or the other. And then also, you don't even get to vote for the fucking top guy. You just vote for the fucker who lives down the street. And then he's in Parliament, you know, and he's like, hey, what about that bridge? And they're like, shut the fuck up. That goddamn bridge. Why the fuck would we care about your riding? Why? We don't care about your riding. But in the States, people are very, very into opinions, you know, and everybody's got one, and, you know. And I don't know when that started, because, like, I know virtually nothing, you know? And so I daren't have an opinion on most things, because I don't want to be wrong, you know? And, but people ask all kinds. Like, one guy came up to me the other week, he was like, hey, what's your opinion on stem cell research? So I'm like, me? That's an interesting question. I'll tell you what, why don't I go to science school for 10 years, and then I'll come back here. Here, we'll meet here on this very spot a decade hence, and I will jot it down in your century at a glance. We'll meet right here, and I will tell you what those 3 words mean. I don't know. I just talked into this thing. I don't know. Anyways. What about guys
like
that
the
do
dipshit.
like that's not very good, is it?
Sometimes it is. I mean,
Political
you know,
stuff?
I like all comedy. You probably
Yeah?
do too, Norm. You know,
Huh?
you probably like it all too.
I don't like political comment.
You don't?
Like, I don't give a fuck if Reagan's old. Are they still doing Reagan jokes?
Probably. They probably are. Yeah, you gotta have a, you know, you get like an old socialist audience of old Jewish guys with ponytails when you do material like that.
You understand after a while, and even with politicians, like they're still human beings. And,
Yeah, barely, but yeah, they're the worst kind of fucking people in the world.
That's
all of them. That's,
I agree. I'm glad to hear you say that because everybody thinks you're all leftist and everything.
Well, I mean, you know, I definitely land on the lefty side of things on, you know, ideological terms, but I found that from doing political talk radio, just, you know, being, you know, carrying water for any of them, you just got to realize the quality of people you're dealing with. You're dealing with fucking corporate whores who are operated by business interests. So, you know, really it's going to come down to, you know, however you view politics, the question is, do you give a shit about poor people? And, and are we being taken advantage of?
Right.
Now, if people want to frame that as, you know, Obama's a communist and draining us of our livelihood, well, that's your particular delusion, and that's fine. I mean, but I just got disillusioned with all of it because these are not quality people. I mean, I did a joke about Michelle Bachmann on Real Time.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I was getting flack from this, you know, a very small portion of the right, you know, that they were like, he's a misogynist. I'm like, she's a fucking pig. She's a fucking politician. Can you name me two politicians that command any respect whatsoever? Why do we respect these people? These people are car salesmen. They're idiots. They're more disingenuous than anybody as performers, and they basically figured out a way to bait and placate morons into, you know, voting against their self-interest. That's an amazing skill, but is it respectable? I don't know. Do you respect a guy that sells you, you know, horse shit in the guise of a health supplement?
I agree with you. I mean, I think politicians are terrible. I mean, people attack evangelists, but at least evangelists offer something.
Right. Well, they after the immediate relief of someone's you know, pain and aggravation with another line of bullshit. But nonetheless, I mean, they're pretty evil too.
Well,
I mean, you know, with politics, it's like. Yeah, I don't like to get into it that much anymore.
Yeah, let's not get into this shit, man.
Okay, buddy.
Because it's getting. I can see people not laughing now.
No, I mean, but you know, laughter. But you know, I know that you've gotten into a little bit of flack around it. But you're
flack around what?
Around politics.
What do you mean?
Well, just say, you know, you've said things that people have reacted to, but you're not like a political comic.
I'm
you know?
not political. I've only said things on purpose to provoke people.
Right.
Once in a while.
You like doing that, though.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
But I've never. But I've never. Because I don't know enough. And because I don't respect political humor when it's nothing but gossip.
Yeah, and mostly comics and people like us, you know, people who are obviously First Amendment warriors to a certain degree. We like living the way we want to live. So it's really just going to come down to money. It's like, you know, how do I keep my money? I mean, that's the biggest political question that most righties ask themselves. It's like, I'd like to keep as much of my money as possible. And if that's in a minority opinion, how do we get this majority of poor people to get me to keep my money and believe that they're doing the right thing?
Yeah, it's a tough fucking thing because apparently I read this, if all the money in the world was equally divided among everybody would be dead fucking poor.
Yeah. You know, there's these moments where like, I don't talk about as much as I used to, but then there's moments where you're like, there's a moment that I was on a fucking radio show the other day. And this was an interesting thing because it's about professionalism. I don't do political talk radio. I've got my political views, and they're fairly general. I'm not trying to support any politician, but I have the way I think about things. But there are politicians that represent the opposite of what I think. So I'm on this talk show with a guy, it's a Fox affiliate, but I'm there to plug my comedy and talk about my podcast and be funny with this dude who's a talk show host. He's a radio professional. He runs an entertainment show for the most part, but he's been dying to talk to Rand Paul about the bridge situation because I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. He's the fucking senator. They got bridges falling down, and he's been trying to get this guy on the show. And the guy he calls in when I'm there. So like now I've got, like, if I was doing political talk radio, I mean, it would have been like, what the fuck are you thinking? You and your libertarian bullshit, and how are we going to pay for this? Like, I would have jumped in and done that. But there was this moment where it's like, I just done a segment with this radio professional. He was like, God, it's great to talk to a guy who knows how to be on radio. We're having a good time. Hold on, the senator's on the phone. And I got to sit there and go, oh, do I do this? Would it be worth it to sabotage this for some lefty, credibility? And then I realized, like, dude, he's a radio guy. You're a comedian. You're having a good conversation. He's trying to talk to this guy about a local problem. Just shut the fuck up and let him do his job. And then when you come back, get back to what you were talking about. And I chose to do that. But I did walk out saying, like, you pussy. You had such an opportunity there.
I was on Politically Incorrect a couple of times. And fuck, man, you have to have an opinion about every goddamn thing on that show. So,
or you can just do a little homework and write some jokes.
But sometimes I remember at the break, like Scott Carter go, enough with the jokes. But I'll never forget it. Like, I'm very unlearned, and so before the show, Scott came in, who was the
producer. Yeah, he's been on the show.
So he said, "What do you think about China and Taiwan?" And seriously, I only know those as words, So I was like, I don't know anything. Like, can't I have another subject? So, anyways, then we get out because he goes, because Bill believes this. I mean, anyways, when we get out, we're introducing the guy beside me, the smart guy, right? He wrote a book on China and Taiwan.
Right.
So fucking Bill Maher, he starts with me. He goes like, what was it, China and Taiwan? I go, I don't know. Fucking ask this guy. What do I know? I'm a nightclub comic. What? Like, that's what made me laugh at that show. Everyone's opinion's equal.
Right.
Right. Like a nightclub comic and an expert. And then another thing I always found funny about that show is the comedians try to be very serious, and then the serious guys are trying to get jokes.
Yeah.
So it's like...
it's not always our shining moment.
I do like Bill, though.
No, Bill's great at what he does.
Yeah.
Like, he started out a straight up joke dude, and he knows his shit. And it's pretty amazing.
You know what's funny about him? I don't know if I should say this or not, but I mean, he's probably aware of it. When he does his monologue, have you noticed when he does his monologue, he does Johnny Carson?
No, no, definitely. He definitely models himself. I think that's been his style for a long time. He definitely takes the posture.
But I find it very funny because he's got the posture and the timing and everything, and he's like, and then she came in his face, but it's like crazy words come out.
Carson would have loved to have done that.
Yeah, he probably would have.
Met Donald Trump when he was on The Tonight Show on Jimmy Fallon's show. Now, tell us about that encounter you had with Donald Trump.
Well, I'd met Donald Trump many, many times in New York City, just because when I was doing Saturday Night Live, he was a fixture in New York City, and he'd come to a lot of the shows, and he was just a local eccentric, that people mostly loved in New York because he fixed the rink in Central Park when the city couldn't. But no, when I was on Jimmy Fallon, that's when Jimmy Fallon tousled his hair and got in trouble for it, and I was the other guest. So I was just out in the hallway, and I said, Donald, can I have a picture? You could call him Donald then. I guess you can still call him Donald. We don't have to call him President, apparently. But I said, could I get a picture with you? And he said, yeah, absolutely, sure, Norm. And then he walked down the hall and got in the elevator with his Secret Service guys. So, but he was just doing it as a joke. A lot of times, the problem with candidates or political candidates that do comedy is obviously comedy doesn't translate well to the page sometimes. Sarcasm is lost, obviously, and things like that. So
if someone says something that's meant self-disparagingly or satirically, and you want to take it out of context, you can. And that happened a lot of times with Trump on the campaign trail.
But you know, he's being caricatured on Saturday Night Live, like quite mercilessly by Alec Baldwin. Like, is it funny to you? Is that funny?
No. The only reason I don't find it funny, when I was there, Daryl Hammond did Donald Trump, and that shows how far back Trump goes, because that was 20 years ago. But Daryl did him then. It was a softer Trump, you know. I think it was a Trump that was a lot closer to his real self. But if you do, the problem with, if you do an impression of someone, you have to like that person, you know, because you're playing the person, and people like themselves. So you can't play someone and have contempt for them at the same time. You know, it doesn't work as an impression. So I don't like his impression, and I have no political affiliation. I just mean from a comedy level.
Let me ask you this. So your Bob Dole imitation was pretty famous back in the day. So would you do Donald Trump today? Would you do a Donald Trump imitation?
I try to not do comedy about Donald Trump because I think I had one joke about Donald Trump that I ever did where I said that Americans hated Hillary Clinton so much that they voted for someone they hated more than Hillary Clinton to rub it in. And that's the only time I ever made a joke about Trump. But I try to stay away from it because it's just, you know, it's low-hanging fruit, and also, you know, Trump oftentimes is doing self-parody, and nothing looks dumber than if you parody self-parody. You know, you really get caught not understanding.
So comedy in the time of Trump, is it more difficult than it was when you were on Saturday Night Live?
It's more difficult in the time of Trump for good comedians, and it's way easier for bad comedians. You know, you don't have a worldview by just saying you don't like Trump. You know what I mean? That doesn't count. Like you can't just say I hate Trump, and that makes you a good person. And the Democrats just can't say I hate Trump, and that means they have a position. You know, that's no position. So for idiots, it's an easier time because you go, well, that guy's the idiot, not me. But if you try to do smart comedy, it's better to stay away from Trump, you know. Was he forced him to do this. The big problem that Clinton has is this thing where he's going to pardon the McDougalls.
He may or may not pardon them. Yeah, people don't know. The whitewater people, we call them here at the show.
Hillary, if she is, because she is also a co-conspirator.
Yeah, if she gets sent away.
If she gets sent away, will he pardon her? And Clinton said, "You do the time, you do the crime, you do the time," he said.
That was so sweet, you know, you moved into three-point range and up and at the last second fouled. All right.
I don't know about politics.
You've got your podcast, it's still going, but I clicked on it the other day. It says Norm will be back in May.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I do it for a while, and I go, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And then they're like, he's on hiatus.
Yeah. Is that what that is? Or is it just that you may or may not come back?
Yeah, I don't know if I will.
Okay.
You used to have a thing on the internet.
Oh, God.
Yeah, people would come on. Yeah, the podcast. That's right.
I promised myself I would never do the podcast again.
You also promised yourself you'd write a good book.
Okay, now.
I mean, there is always one other option.
There's another option? What's that?
You ever heard of the Queensboro Bridge?
I'll do the podcast.
I just do it for a while and then
It's fun to watch.
tired of it.
Because
It's
it
fun
is,
to
yeah,
do, man.
yeah.
It's so great. I think it's just the people who do it with Norm
are awful.
Are awful.
Well, no, Sean does it. Sean does it with me. He's
Well, there's
awesome.
one guy. There's always one guy. It's the rest of the people.
The future's good.
It's those awful others. Do you enjoy doing the interview stuff with people on the podcast?
Yeah, well, we got good guests, so that I was interested in, but it's harder. Like, you guys obviously have to just interview everybody.
Not necessarily.
Here. What?
No, we don't.
You don't?
No, you're a special choice. We could have
But
said no.
I'm amazed that people. I don't know how I would do with people that.
You don't care about?
Yeah, like I'm always astonished by, especially a guy like David Letterman, who I think would be even less interested than we would be. You know, the way he can pretend to be interested.
Right,
Like,
and actually
that's
have.
Yeah, but don't you think he has a little more juice or say? I'm saying, hey,
No.
this guest
No,
is here,
no.
but there's every once in a
Yeah.
while they have to take it. He has to take it. Yeah.
No, on an average guest, you got to,
If they're in town, they're promoting.
3 guests a night.
Yeah.
There's not that many interesting people. And, actors are not interesting at all. I mean,
And now, did you start getting pressure from anybody? Because it's your podcast, but you start getting money from the outside coming in. I think it was Jerky Links, which might have explained the ballooning. Was that right? You had the Jerky Links thing. You had to try to convince me you're a Jerky Links
get
guy.
what?
Just get what they want, like guests from them.
Sean and I, we liked just older guys. A lot of people
Right.
wanted young people.
But they're not interesting.
Older guys are the most interesting. And I always think in show business, you get the old guys, they don't care what they say anymore.
Right.
They're out of the business.
They'll tell some stories.
And they tell stories about guys you care about.
Yeah, they'll name names. They don't care at all. They're seconds away from dying.
Yeah.
So who's the best one you had on there? Because I've seen some that
Well,
were
we
just
had
fantastic.
we had this guy Jack Carter, and he did the most craziest thing. Remember?
Well, I also still, after meeting him, have no idea who Jack Carter is.
Jack Carter was a comedian like the Catskills guys, right? Way back in the day.
90.
Yeah.
So he was talking, and he said he was talking about the war, and he was
Which
like,
one?
The Second World War.
The
I
big
go,
one.
you were in the Second World War. He goes, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I go, the war was a lot of fun? And he goes, well, I never got to go over. I never went over, He goes, I got a lucky break. My whole unit was going to D-Day, and they all died. And I didn't go because I got deathly sick the day before. And then I go, oh, man, it sounds like you were faking it as a joke.
Right.
And then he goes, I was. And then he's like, I never told nobody that. And
So he finally confessed.
Yes,
now,
that he is a
right?
deserter and a traitor to our country.
But you learn that kind of stuff on Norm's podcast,
Yeah,
which
Norm's
is great.
Deathbed Confessions. That'd be a good show.
That'd be pretty awesome. You just
Yeah.
show up at hospitals,
Yeah,
and they think it's to bring them up, but it's really just to get them to admit
We've had
some
a
stuff.
couple.
You have to admit some stuff, and then you
Oh,
pull
man.
a plug out of.
Man, do I want to follow you around with a camera? Hey, I'm here to pull the plug there. You got anything to say?
So Rickles.
Must be especially. It was a joke about a guy because it was such a good story. There's a guy who had surgery, and I can't remember the joke.
I can't either. Well, I guess the biggest thing that nobody knows about me is I'm a deeply closeted gay man.
What? What's something people don't know about you?
I'm a deeply closeted gay guy.
No kidding.
Well, I'm not coming out, though.
I mean, that's, you're a gay man?
I'm not gay. I said I'm deeply closeted. I'm as straight as an arrow.
So you're a gay man who won't admit it?
No. Do you know what deeply closeted means?
Yeah.
It means a man who will not acknowledge that he's gay.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, I'm not gay.
Wait a minute. What are you revealing here today?
I'm not revealing anything. I'm saying I'm deeply closeted.
Well, that means you're gay. That means you're very, very gay, but you don't want to come out. You're so closeted.
That I refuse to say I'm gay.
Right.
Exactly.
But doesn't that mean you're gay?
Hey, easy, buddy. You know, on your last show, I came out as a deeply closeted gay man.
Yeah.
And I'm not gay. But David, on one time, this is a true story, and Dave, you'll attest to this, bought me a beautiful leather jacket.
Oh, that's right.
Well out of my price range. Now, I'm no one to take charity. You don't know I'm a secret homosexual, do you?
No, I saw that, actually. A deeply, according to you, a deeply closeted homosexual is what you said. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. I can't believe you. When you know your own name, you see it in popular culture used, you know, and Norm is always like, I noticed this ever since I was a kid. When I was very young, there was a show called Peyton Place with Ryan O'Neal as a sexy brother. Norm is, you know, deeply closeted man. You know, what's still funny is Cleese.
Oh my God!
Hysterically funny.
No,
Eric Idle not so much, but boy, Cleese. He did a sketch when I was on, Cleese and Palin. It was funny, between dress and air, they went to the museum.
Wow.
They're so smart, you know. Everybody else is hanging out. So, anyways, they did the parrot sketch and another sketch. So I'm running down to see him. You know, you can see him live in dress. You know, I mean, not dress
yeah, I think because people either didn't know it or they knew it so well, it was like, cool, oh, they're doing it. I remember Lauren introduced me to Michael Palin once, and I felt, it was like the Bill Murray experience, where I'm like, everything I do is just, like, you're, like, I saw you at 7, you know, like, what do you say? And I was just like, hi.
Michael Palin, please don't applaud, we're short on time. Thank you. And I'm John Cleese.
One of my ex-wives died, you know, that it was very sad because it was the wrong one.
I tell you, until I met my wife, I always felt incomplete. Now I'm finished. My mother will be in a car and we'll be driving and she'll go, Ralph's. She'll just read words on building.
I'm 79.
Yeah. You're 79?
I don't look it, do I?
No, because my mother's 79 and...
She looks old.
Maybe that's the way it is with ladies and men.
I'm 79.
Yeah. You're 79?
I don't look it, do I?
No, because my mother's 79 and...
She looks old.
Maybe that's the way it is with ladies and men.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis were better anyway.
I had a moment of inspiration, and I'm telling you, Conan, it was the high point of my creativity, because she was, you know, she's probably about 92, and it's not very much fun being 92, I think, because, you know, all the people at the home are dying around you like flies, you know, you're just sort of chatting to someone, and then you go up and get your custard and come back, and he's dead. I rang her up one day, and she was quite seriously, really giving me all the reasons that she didn't want to go on living. And, you know, I felt helpless. I thought, what can I do? And I had this moment of inspiration. I said, Mum, I have an idea. And she said, oh, what is that? And I said, look, if you're still feeling this way next week, I have a friend in Fulham, and I could give him a call if you like, but only if you like. And he could come down and kill you.
He did this bit for us that he insisted on doing,
Sully Sullenberger?
Yes. He did a bit where he came out and he's like, yeah, Conan, I've made a movie. And I'm like, oh, really? You've made a movie? And yeah, I funded it myself. And of course, and it was about Sully Sullenberger, who landed.
Sully Sullenberger biography.
Yeah, biography about the pilot who landed the plane. And I think maintained that he did this. He had this idea before Tom Hanks. So he's a little indignant.
Well, it was actually, we showed it before Hanks ever made the movie.
Oh, is that true? Okay,
yes.
All right. It was 2009.
It was right after Sully Sullenberger heroically landed on the Hudson.
And so he shot this thing, and he got to our show early, and of course it looks like shit because we just had
It's fast,
with the barest cockpit set.
Are you familiar with Sully Sullenberg?
The captain
who
landed the plane on the Hudson. Everybody knows Captain Sully Sullenberger.
Everybody now knows who he is. I've known him for quite a long time.
You knew him before this whole thing happened?
I knew him 10 years ago.
You knew Sully Sullenberger, the captain who landed the plane on the Hudson, that long?
Yes.
10 years?
Yes. And I, as soon as I first met him, I thought there's something special about this guy, and I bought his story.
You're kidding. That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, I met him in, where did I meet him? Airport. I met him. It was a Sbarro's.
Uh-huh. That adds up, yeah.
And he was getting pizzas. He was getting pepperoni. But anyway, whatever. So
to this day, I don't know what that sketch is.
Well, it was a dry bit. It was a very dry sketch.
It was one of the driest things I've ever seen.
So the idea is that Sully Sullenberger heroically landed on the Hudson like around that time.
Yeah.
He made this movie about Sully Sullenberger, but 6 months it's been in the can. So he was looking for an ending.
Yeah.
And this guy lands. So basically,
no. The joke is
the clip.
He made a movie about Sully Sullenberger before he heroically landed the plane on the. So
So the clip is him landing on the tarmac. That's
successfully. He successfully lands the plane
and says, "Thanks for flying American Airlines.
Yes,
have a good day."
So I heard you made a movie. This is going to be a huge movie. You have the movie of Captain Sully Sullenberger.
Yeah, I could. But save it up for the thing. Now listen, you know why you're standing up here. I'm just kidding you. I love you. That's why. Hey, you wanna land this?
Yeah.
Pretty well lands itself. But mostly, I know there's not enough time, but mostly we talked about it was a love story.
What? A love story with who?
Him and his wife, Lori Sungelberger. What was her name? I wrote this bit 25 minutes ago.
You want the clip or should we get out of here?
No, we should do the clip.
All right, take a look at this clip.
Sully, why didn't you give me a seat? Why do I
break it here, I guess?
A clip, and this must have exciting footage.
Well, well...
This story, the end of this story is incredible when the engines go out and...
The movie's been in the can for 6 months.
You made a movie about Captain Sully Sullenberger, and you finished it before he even crashed the plane on the Hudson, landed it?
Yeah, and it's too bad, man, because I was struggling for an ending for a long time. It's called Sully Sullenberger. Sully Sullenberger.
You clearly spent 10 years you've known this man? You forgot the at the end of his name?
I call him by a nickname, whatever. It's called Sully Sullenberger, Airport Pilot. But anyways, I brought a clip.
Oh, let's take a look at the clip.
Oh, can I say something?
Yeah.
I play Sully.
You play Sully in the movie? We have to see this now. Unbelievably, this was shot before the incident that made him famous, but let's take a look.
On behalf of U.S. Airline, we know you have a lot of choices to make, and we're glad you chose us. Have fun in Kansas City, everybody. It's not a good ending.
It's a terrible ending.
It's the worst possible ending. I keep saying reshoots, and they have no money for reshoots. They're like, I said a long shot of the Hudson. Nothing.
No, that's not going to do it. And he insisted on using the woman who did his makeup, Deborah Pullman. He insisted on using her in the bit, even though it's not even clear why he needed her in the bit.
His wife played his wife.
Yeah, played his wife, and
I have to stand here for the whole flight.
I told you it's cheaper.
So the joke is that, amazingly, a director decides to make a movie about a random pilot, Sully Sullenberger, and makes it about a successful landing before the most dramatic landing in the history of aviation. And he showed this thing. I think he had a fake mustache on.
Yes,
but he's barely, and this is another thing I love about him. He didn't care at all about the craft of acting. And I'll watch.
Let's talk about you now. Let me ask you something.
Yes,
Another guy from Canada has come and invaded show business here in the United States.
With an acerbic wit.
So many funny guys come out of Canada. What is it about Canada that produces all these comedians? What do you think it is?
I don't know, because when I'm in Canada, no one's funny.
You think it's the long, dark, cold winters? You just had to find something to laugh about?
We don't have dark winters. We don't live in the Arctic Circle.
But they're long, aren't they?
They're long and cold, and they're cold.
And really cold.
Yeah, they're cold.
So when you're a kid up in Canada...
I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but they're cold.
You said this is the coldest you've ever been. You're Canadian, so are you okay with this?
I've been colder than this. I've been colder than a vampire's...
Go on.
That's like
We're
an
waiting.
8 a.m. joke.
Yeah, we can do it at 7:19. The stage is yours.
Are you drunk? Because all you did was ride a cooler and you're sweating.
I am. Well, it's hot it's hotter than a $2
Well, he's
pistol
got like
in here.
12 layers on.
Yeah,
I think.
I thought it was going to be really cold.
Well, you're from Canada. This should be springtime for you.
No, I know I'm from Canada, but I'm still a human being. Like it's not like you really evolved differently. Yeah, no, I'm from the frozen north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets colder than It gets colder than a...
Oh, here it comes. Get your finger on the panic button.
No, it gets colder than a vampire's demeanor.
Okay, that's better.
Wow. Surprisingly cerebral. Well, let me ask you something. Now, I knew you when you started here in L.A., but you're from Canada.
Yeah.
You started in Canada. I did some gigs in Canada, and it's a little different, isn't it?
It's kind of rough there because they got like a lot of people that like hate me.
Oh, well, that could be a disadvantage.
That's rough going in. But it was all like, you go to these crazy places like Medicine Hat or Red Deer.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I played one place, Head Smashed In, Buffalo Jump. It was a crazy place.
Yeah.
And you know how I got his name? It was a guy, in the old days, the buffalo used to run and open in the plains. It was beautiful, way back in the 70s. And they would run. And so the way they'd catch him is, Jay, they'd dig a hole with a shovel.
Right. Dig a hole. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And then they dig the hole with the shovel, and then the buffalo, they're dumb animals. They just run, and run and run and run, and then fall into the hole, right? So one time this Indian dude, a brave, he was digging the hole, and he didn't hear all the buffaloes were already running. And then all the buffaloes fell on his head and smashed it in. So then they called the town Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. It's a very unwieldy name.
Really unwieldy name. Yeah. And you played gigs there? I mean, what were the audiences like?
They were horrible. Man, they hated my guts.
Yeah.
One time I kissed Relic.
The Beachcombers?
Yeah.
Were you on a ferry or?
No, that Indian guy from the show gave me some bad heroin.
That's not true.
No.
You made that up.
I didn't make that part up, but I did have a long kiss with Relic.
For a show or just?
Well,
party?
Yeah, no, I was supposed to be on the Beachcombers.
Right. That would have been awesome with Jackson Davies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turns out I was never going to be on the Beachcombers, and I was just going to be in Relic's hotel room.
What, were you in Vancouver?
Yeah, I was in Vancouver, and I'm like, this is going to be the greatest. I'm going to be, I was supposed to be like the new breed of the beachcomber and everything. That's what Relic said.
So this is a next generation beachcomber thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Beachcomber, the next generation. Relic was supposed to be the executive producer, and he'd make occasional like appearances. This is what he told me in his hotel room.
Come on. This didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Okay. I got to read this book. Sean.
Hey, I should put that in the book.
You should. I know there's a couple generations maybe between you two as comedians. Looking at
a couple.
Watching Norm over the years and some of the characters, what's it like being alongside one of the best?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I love Dirty Work, and I love Saturday Night Live. And then I worked with Norm. He was my boss, my first boss in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Sean's awesome, man. Future of comedy. If you show this clip like 10, 20 years from now, you're going to go, who's that old guy talking about, who the hell is Relic?
Oh, I love that
I'll
story.
be like Relic, and he'll be like me, like 20 years, when you look at this in the fall. In Canada, it's different. Like here in the States, you vote for the president, maybe you vote for the wrong guy, a war happens.
Right.
In Canada, it's not like that. You go, like, what's the big thing? Should they make that bridge?
Right, that's the biggest.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. So it's, you know,
It's too much
we're
pressure.
very inconsequential, Canada.
Yeah.
Last time I performed here at the Just for Laughs Gala was 25 years ago, and I did so well, they invited me back. So that was nice. I love Montreal, my God, you know, and call me an eternal optimist, you know, but I really believe in my heart that this is the year that the Expos are finally going to win it all. Montreal, famous for a lot of things, you know, one of them being the greatest strip clubs in all of the world. Yeah. Last night, are you aware of Club Super Sex? Yeah, so last night I went to Club Super Sex. I chose the soup. Big mistake. Hey, big election coming up, and in Canada, this is the difference in elections in America and Canada, is elections in America mean something. You vote for the wrong motherfucker, the world blows up. I don't need that on my hands. Whereas Canada, you know, what's the, it's always like, well, what's your view on the bridge? I say keep as it is. I don't think they need to clean that up. That's fine. It was easy when I was young to vote because it was simply, you know, you just didn't vote for the French guy. It couldn't have been an easier choice. As a matter of fact, I almost feel like coming back this fall just as an homage to my late father and not vote for Trudeau. My dad did not like Trudeau. Trudeau was my hero, though. I loved him, you know. And since I've come back, I've been watching the news and everything. I've been seeing Justin, you know. And I thought, by God, you know, this Justin kid, he must be brilliant because his father was Pierre Elliott Trudeau. But then I forgot, he's got a mother. so that's kind of evens everything out. You know, what's also different in American and Canadian elections? In America, you get to vote for the President of the United States, and in Canada, you vote for some motherfucker who lived down the street. In your riding. Whatever the hell that is. So then, that guy, he goes to the House of Parliament, you know, and he's like, oh, wow, this is big. And then the speaker's like, all right, well, what are we going to talk about? Anybody want to bring an issue? And then your guy's like, yeah, I just, our bridge ain't looking too good. The speaker's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I go, no, I'll sit down. Sorry about that, I just... Thank you and good evening. I'm Norm MacDonald, and I could not be more excited to be here. You know, when I was asked to host the Canadian Screen Awards, I called my good friend Chris Rock, and I said to him, I've got some great news, Chris. I'm going to Canada. And he said, I've got some great news, too. I'm hosting the Oscars. What are you doing in Canada? And I said, you know, visiting some family, friends. The usual. We're coming to you live from Toronto, or as you cost-cutting location scouts call it, New York City. Never has there been such an assembly of great Canadian talent in a single location that did not have to be Zamboni'd first. Tonight, the CSAs are being seen in over 50 countries. Isn't that exciting? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Don't, wait. I misread that. 50 counties. And a couple of regional municipalities. We are here to celebrate nominees for their wonderful work in Canadian cinema and television, which is a lot like celebrating the Northern Lights. You probably haven't seen them, but you've heard they're amazing. We have a lot to celebrate in our industry. Amongst the TV shows nominated tonight are Amazing Race Canada, Big Brother Canada, Master Chef Canada. Where do they come up with these ideas? But it's been a wonderful year for Canada. It's been a especially great year for one little guy, one adorable little Canadian youngster who's already accomplished so much. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, Justin Trudeau. Hasn't he had a wonderful year? It's been a busy weekend getting here. We lost an hour. As you know, daylight savings time went into effect last night. I give it 6 months. Well, we're going to start the show, but I was... It hasn't started yet. You didn't know. I saw a wild look of alarm cross your eyes. But I was backstage yesterday, and we were doing rehearsals, and I asked, what is the statuette called? And they said, it's called the Canadian Screen Award. And I said, well, that seems kind of dull. Like, what? That's the name of the award? And they said, well, we've been bandying around different names, but none of, they said in Canada it takes a long time to get stuff done and stuff. But one of them that they said, one of them they mentioned was the Candy. And I think John Candy, I mean, who doesn't love John Candy? So, of course, the statuette should be called the Candies. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you are a presenter, ignore the teleprompter and say, the candy goes to. And if you are lucky enough to win one, go, I want a candy. What do you think of that? Can you go along with that? Excellent. That would make us a better nation. I am not here to upbraid. However, I think I made it quite clear that these awards should be referred to as the candies. A 9-year-old child knew. Are you so burdened with this preposterous technology? So I would like not to see that again. You know, backstage I was thinking how different things are since I moved to the United States. You know, now I'm in the United States. One thing I've noticed about films, I don't like foreign films anymore. You know? They're all like artsy, kind of not my cup of tea. But when I grew up in Ottawa, by God, I loved foreign films. You know, Star Wars, Smokey and the Bandit. Do you remember that one? Here to present our next award, the Candy. And this will be the end of my upbraiding, I hope. George St. Kitts and the Candy Band. Who can take a sunrise? Come on, guys. Sprinkle it, but they can't. Well, whatever. Well, our next presenters are political people. And it made me think, because I was just told Cape Breton Island, I don't know if you know this, but they are offering sanctuary to anyone that lives in America after Trump is elected president by a landslide. And I agree with this in principle, but why Cape Breton Island? I mean, can't I just flee to Toronto? Do I have to leave the fucking planet? I mean, I just go to Baffin Island while I'm at it. All right, now, welcome to the stage, 2 Canadians. Oh, the candies are going great so far, aren't they? I would like to say to Eugene Levy that there's no reason to be ashamed of your son. My son only this morning punched me in the chest really hard. Listen, I have some good news. I just found out that all of you here tonight will be getting a swag bag. Yeah. Just like the Oscars. I haven't seen one yet, but why don't we take a look and see what you're getting? I'm going to call Megan, our golden girl, out. Megan, our golden girl? Hi, Megan. Come on out here. Ah, you brought the swag bag. Yes, can you hold it open? And then I'll take things out of the swag bag. What do we have here? A loose pancake. What else we got here, Megan? We got, oh, this looks cool. It's a CD, you know what they are, of Nelly Furtado singing all the national anthems. Torn from today's headlines. See what else we have. We have this. Ah, yes, this. This is a bottle of Eau de John Cherry Cologne. It's for the gentleman in the audience. Now, what else do we have? Hopefully something a little funnier than the last one. Here. We have a 30-minute massage from producer Robert Lantos. Don't try to go for 50. You only can hit 30. And then what else do we have here? Oh, a curling stone. You know what these are made of? I always took them for granite. Last time I take a joke from Martin Short. All right. Megan, just do some house cleaning here. Having a hand for Megan, our Golden Globe. A natural mistake. All right. Listen, guys. For some reason, I've been told to stretch. So, oh, I've never tried that before. The show's over, folks. Good night. But for the first candies, respect, peace.